Okay, so even though you're watching this video in class, you're watching it on your own. So you don't need to write this top thing. That is for me. So title your page 1-4 decimal place value, and you can find this on page 14 of your book in case I ask you to look for questions in there, which I'm going to. So I am going to have you review some things. We won't always review, but today we are going to. So I am going to have you look at page 14, and I want you to try 1 through 6. You won't know all of these, but I do want to go over them with you. So go ahead and try those. I'm going to put up quiz questions, and then we will talk about them. So there will be a question for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Go ahead and try those now. So the first one, it wants you to write 4.737 into word form. So in word form, I would write 4 and, every time you see a decimal, you use the word and, 737 thousandths. Now, if you don't write the THS, the thousandths, I would think you were talking about, I could mistake you for 4 and 737. I could mistake you for that, which would be incorrect because of the and means decimal, but the thousandths tell you that we will have a decimal, or it will be behind the decimal. There will be numbers behind the decimal. All right, I'm not going to explain the second one, but the third one, it wants us to write each number in standard form. So this wants us to write all of this, which is expanded form, into standard form, which is a simple number. The easiest way to do that is to use your chart. You know everything to the left of the decimal is a whole number. So that can be our 6. So our 6 can go here. And then what spot is this 6 in? What's its place value? It's 1 after the decimal. It's in our 10th spot. So we could write our 6 here. Our 3 is over 2 spots, and it's in the hundredths. So we can write our 3 right here, and our 7th is in our thousandths. So we would simply write 6 and 637 thousandths. That is in standard form, which standard is just simple number form. Now, the last two we haven't really touched on, so I wanted to make sure we get to them. It wants you to write 2 decimals that are equivalent to this decimal. Well, these zeros here on the end, since they end in zeros, they really don't matter. So if I took off this 1 0, this would still be the same number. The zeros on the back don't fully matter. So I could take 1 0 away. So we started with this decimal. It can be the exact, it's the same or equivalent, it's equal to this, 3.70. And you can take the other one off, which is 3.7. All of those are equal to each other. So if you look at the next one of 5.60, what would be equivalent to that? Well, we could take that off and it would just be 5.6, or we could even add 1 and have 5.600. No matter how many zeros you take off the back or add, it does not change the number. It is equivalent or equal to. So what we're working on today is looking at this and looking at this number and knowing the value of the underlying digit. So if I had my chart and I want to find out what the underlying digit, or what is the value of the underlying digit, I could just know my place values and know that this is the 2 is in the 1 spot, the 3 is in the tenths, And then we have 2 zeros in the hundreds and thousands. If you don't know it by heart, that's okay. Just write it in your place value chart. So we have 2 and 3 thousandths. So what would our 3 represent? What is the value of it? It is represented 3/10. We can write it out in word form, or we can write it in decimal form, which would be 0.3 because it is in the 10th spot. All right, so this is going to be a quiz question, and I want you to write the word form of the number and tell me the value of the underlined digit or the underlined number. So you need to do 2 things. Write this number in word form, and tell me what is the value of the underlined digit. That will be your quiz question. So word form would look like this. 1 and, remember decimals, and 982 thousandths. And the 8 would, in our chart, it would look like, it would be right here, because we would have 1 and 982 thousandths. It wants to know the value of the 8. So what is it? 8 hundredths. It's in the hundredth spot. So I want you to try one more of those. Okay, I lied. We're moving on. I'm going to give you some numbers, and I want you to write these numbers in standard form, and you will make those will be your quiz questions. So the first one, I would like you to write in standard form. All right, so go ahead and write these 3. These are 3 different problems. I want you to write all of them into standard form and put all 3 answers in one answer box for your quiz question. I'm not going to explain them on here, but if you get them wrong, I will pull you back for small group. And that doesn't mean you're in trouble. It just means I want you to explain it better, and I want you to be able to get it correct in life and on the test. All right, now these are 3 different questions that will be on a one quiz question. I would like you to tell me 2 decimals that are equivalent to the ones I've given you. So 2 and 2 and 2 thousandths. I want you to write 2 different decimals that are equal to this, which we kind of talked about at the beginning of this video. So you can always go back and watch the beginning of the video to get your answers correct. You can always replay anything that I've taught. Also, if I talked about it the day before, you could go back and watch the video from the day before you answered this quiz question. So go ahead and answer this quiz question. And when you answer it, you should see if you got the answer right or wrong. The correct answer will pop up under the answer that you either typed in or guessed. So see how many you got right and wrong, and I will be able to see that on my end. It will show me your score, and once you're done watching this video, you are going to come up to me and tell me how many problems you got right or wrong, or that you don't know, and I'll tell you if we need to work together or if you can go ahead and work on your practice. So possible answers for this first one, you could have taken off both zeros on the back and made 2.2. You could have taken off 1 zero off the back, and it would have been equivalent. The next one, you could take the 0 off the back and make it 9.5, or we could even add a 0. And on the very last one, we could take both zeros off again. We could take 1 0 off, or we could even add another 0, and it won't make a difference. Or 3 zeros, and it won't make a difference. All right, come back and see me, and I will tell you what to do next. Thank you. Bye.